Well, this is our 5th program that my father and I have worked on since we were invited to the Historical Society to chair as co-VPs for the programs. And we've done 4 wonderful events, from the book on MGM to the Culver High presentation last summer, to our Wicked Witch and Algene Harmetz, to January Gone with the Wind with our friend, oh my gosh, I forgot it, Mark Wanamaker. He would hate that. And tonight, we kind of segued off of what I think is more like the basic and went into the city, into the structure of the city. And we hummed and hawed about different businesses in town. And I have to say, when I was a little girl, my grandmother used to say to me, "Come on, Hopi, let's go down to Catherine's, let's go get a ring of bread and some butter and come back to the house." And I never knew Sorrento's was named Sorrento's until the 70s, because I always called it Catherine's. My grandmother called it Catherine's. That was just where we were going. It was a little store on Sepulveda Boulevard. And then when my mother and father decided in 1979 that they wanted to do the endeavor of opening up a deli in Palm Desert because there wasn't an Italian market out there, Albert Vera was there to help them with product, ideas, and the sandwich, of course. And I would load up my station wagon. Albert would come help me load up that station wagon with canned goods and tomato sauce and jardinera, and I'd take that wagon back to Palm Desert all the way back. Very proud of being Italian in our heritage as you are in yours. So tonight, let us open up by a brief but wonderful historical explanation of the Vera family and their life here in Culver City. Lydia Noni Zeppatella was born in 1914 in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, to Antonio and Maria Zeppatella. At age 7, she and her family returned to Italy, where she grew up and went to school. She met and married an accomplished painter and muralist, Attilio Vera, the son of Albert and Caterina Vera, with whom she had 2 children. Albert was born in 1934 and Catherine in 1936, both in the town of Pietramalata. Attilio was conscripted into the Italian army. I didn't know what that word meant. My dad told me it meant drafted. And was sent to North Africa, where he was captured by the British and held for many years as a POW. After the war, he was released, but never came to the United States. Lydia Noni was forced to raise her children alone. In 1944, Noni was ready to move back to the United States with her children, having no word as to the fate of Attilio. She was told that she had to vote in order for Italy to become a democracy. After voting, in a strange twist, she lost her U.S. citizenship for voting in the Italian election. Lydia was then told her children had to leave Italy for the United States before their 15th birthdays, or they would also lose their U.S. citizenship. Noni was now neither an Italian nor a U.S. citizen. In 1949, Noni wrote a letter to her sister Rosie and husband Angelo, who lived in El Paso, Texas, to see if Albert could come live with them until she cleared up her citizenship problem. She sent Albert to Texas to be with her sister and family. In 1950, Rosie and husband Angelo moved the family to Culver City, as Angelo was a very talented tailor and had a good offer for work. Catherine, in 1951, before she was 15 years old, was also sent to join the family in Culver City, while Noni remained in Italy. Eventually, President Eisenhower fixed the citizenship problem for all the people affected by the Italian vote, and in 1953, Noni was able to rejoin her family living on Duquesne Avenue in Culver City, again with full U.S. citizenship. Catherine went to Culver City schools to learn English and become one of the first foreign students at Culver High School. After graduation, she went to work at Orbach's department store. Albert was working for Irv Rosenblum at his market on Pico and Bundy as a box boy. Mr. Rosenblum talked Catherine into joining Albert at the market, setting in place the foundation for their future in food marketing. Albert joined the military and did his training at Fort Ord in California. He was stationed in Germany until his enlistment ended, when he returned to Culver City. He learned of a truck and a customer route that was for sale by Arthur Esposito. He worked out a deal to buy the truck and take over the route. He worked hard, and it was a great success. Catherine, in the meantime, returned to Italy to be with her childhood sweetheart, Santino. They were married in Pompeii in August of 1957. Catherine and Santino returned to the U.S. and moved in with Noni and Albert on Hannam Avenue. Santino was a woodworker. He got a job in the studios as a prop maker. They have 4 daughters, Anna, Lydia, Lena, and Alice. Around 1963, while living on Hannam, they noticed a building on Sepulveda that had gone empty. Albert, Catherine, and Santino decided to rent the building and open an Italian market. Albert would continue his route. Santino stayed in the studios, and Catherine would run the new market. As 1963 was coming to a close, Sorrento Market at 5518 Sepulveda Boulevard opened, and the rest is history. On Sundays, Albert and Santino would stock the shelves and help at the store. The store became popular and started growing. While Albert was on his route in Venice, he met Ursula, who had a son named Ralph. They eventually married and had a son together, Albert Jr. In 1971, Catherine retired from the market to raise her girls, and Albert's wife Ursula stepped up to run the market. Albert soon gave up his route and joined Ursula at the store. Noni came to work there also and would frequently say, "At my age, you put me to work." With the success of the store, Albert started buying property on Sepulveda Boulevard, including the store location, houses in the neighborhood, and grew his holdings in Culver City. In the mid-1970s, he began to invest in ranches and land in the Lindsay area of Central California, and over time acquired over 1,000 acres where he primarily grew olives, oranges, plums, as well as other produce. He packaged and canned them to sell as Vera brand labeled products in his store. The Vera Ranches, as it has come to be known, has many buildings to house the foremen and helpers that work on the ranch. Albert Sr., like his son continues this day, would make weekly visits to the ranch to supervise the brand and ranch operations. He became one of the biggest landowners in the San Joaquin Valley. All of this didn't seem to be enough to keep Albert busy, so he joined the Civil Service Commission for the city of Culver City. In 1992, he ran for city council for 2 four-year terms, serving as mayor for 1 year in each 4-year term. He was term limited out in 2000. In 2002, he was convinced to run again. And according to Steve Hadlin, publisher of the Culver City Observer, he trounced the closest competition by nearly 50% more votes and completed another 4-year term on the council. Albert was very passionate when it came to the measures and causes he supported. According to fellow council member Steve Rose, "Even if we didn't always agree, I admired his tenacity." According to civil engineer John Wolotarski, some of Albert's accomplishments while he served on city council were to secure a $1 million grant to restore the Culver City Municipal Plunge after the Northridge earthquake. Love that picture. New restrooms, updated facilities at all city parks, sports fields, and nature trails. Albert, Ursula, and the family were ardent supporters of the Culver City Police and Fire Department. According to the Culver City Observer, Albert contributed generous donations and goods to many worthy groups and charitable organizations, including St. Augustine's, St. Gerard's, and Visitation Catholic churches, as well as Marycrest Manor and the local school groups. On December 31st, in 1989, Sorrento's market sustained a massive fire and was completely gutted. Members of the Culver City Police and Fire Department and many friends pitched in on their own time to help Albert rebuild Sorrento's market and get it back open for business. The bond between Albert and his adopted city was very strong. He worked hard to make it into the city that it is today. As the market grew, so did the extended Vera family. Albert once said, I am probably the luckiest guy in the world. I get to work with my wife, my two sons, Alberto and Ralph, and my family every day, and see all my customers. And, of course, his dog. His dog. Next one. There's the dog. Albert loved his family, especially Alexandra, his only granddaughter from Albert Jr. They were a very close family. In 2005, Santino succumbed to kidney failure. It was the first of many sad days for the family. Ralph passed away the following year. Albert Vera Sr. died suddenly at his home in Sunkist Park on May 31st, 2010. He was just 75 years old. His funeral at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City was attended by an overflow crowd of family and friends, along with members of the police and fire department. The procession through the streets was one of the longest in recent memory, including fire and police equipment with all their lights ablaze to honor the man who loved this town so much. Ursula Vera, who was having serious medical problems, passed away and joined her husband just short of a year later. The market and the Vera holdings were assumed by Albert Jr. He has revitalized the store and continues the good work started by his father. Last summer, Albert sponsored a commissioned Australian artist, Fintan McGee, who in the span of a few days was able to produce 2 beautiful murals for the city, as well as inspire a group of aspiring young artists at the high school. Sorrento Market is still thriving, and the ranches are still producing an assortment of products bearing the Vera Ranches brand label. Albert's daughter, Alexandria, is in college at the University of Oregon, and Aunt Catherine still lives in Culver City, where she proudly talks about her loving family. She stops into the market almost daily to check in on Albert and make sure he is doing a good job. I have to agree. I think we all know that you're doing a great job. I'm going to invite Albert and Catherine, his aunt, to come up, and you can ask any questions you like.
And he's going to answer all of them.
Before we start, I just wanted to take a couple seconds and thank everybody for showing up, thanking my family and all of my staff at the store. Really, and they're all sitting in the back for some reason, hiding out today. But you know, without the support of my family and all my staff, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing now, and they're really letting me fulfill my endeavors and the dreams that my parents both started. I put my glasses on so I can read. Like I said, I want to thank everyone, thank the Historical Society for putting together this event. The story of Sorrento Italian Market is a very personal one for me. I was born just 2 years after the market opened and have spent a good portion of my life there, with this one here, picking on me the whole time. My earliest memories are running around the market with my cousin, Lena, sitting over there, eating everything in sight. If it was food, we ate it. I remember riding early mornings with my father in his delivery truck, happy to help out and just happier to be with him. I remember coming home from school, going directly to the store, so my mom made sure I did my homework and didn't play hooky. On the postcard, which was there, but that was me and my cousin Lena and my Uncle Tom sitting out in front of the store in the 70s. You see, our market has always been and always will be about family, not just the Vera family, but all of our families, our community. It has always been a place where children can gaze into the cookie case and dream for 3 generations now. It has always been a place not just to buy delicious foods, but to trade and visit with people and trade the stories of the day. It has always been a place where anyone who needs help receives it. And it has always been a place where the pace of life is not only respected, but celebrated. That's the way my mom, my dad, my aunt, and my grandma Noini always wanted to do things, and I'm proud to continue their tradition as long as I'm able. Thanks again. My aunt now.
Thank you for the honor of my brother. For honoring my brother and my family. I think we have accomplished many things coming here, the United States. It was my mother's home. She was born over here, and we wanted to come back to the United States, not knowing if my father, as I said, whether he was dead or alive. So we set up to make values of whatever we had. We worked to accomplish things, and we valued everything that we got. Whether it was we worked hard, my brother and I, and we are proud of what we accomplished. And Rosenblum, he was very helpful. All the people that we came in contact, they helped us. They helped us to grow, more or less. And I am proud of our family, of what we have done, and also and I thank all the people coming, when we first came that helped us. And they used to keep me in line, believe me, they did. So to make sure that I was behaving. So, and everything worked out good. But thank you again. And I'm very proud of my nephew. Of course, I'm still going to keep an eye on him, but I'm still proud of him. So. Thank you.
Is there any questions before I give it back to Hope, or? No? Okay.
Where did the Sorrento name come from?
Well, I heard a couple of different stories on that one.
When my brother and my husband decided to open the store, really, I was not in on it. I retired. I had retired from the grocery store. I used to be a checker in a grocery store. And they figured, Catherine is not doing anything. She could run the store. So that's how it came about. They couldn't decide on the name, or what to name them. So I more or less okay, we're going to say, Santino or Albert or Catherine, so everything. So that we come from not too far from Sorrento, and that's where the name came from. So this way it was neutral. Nobody got their feelings hurt who opened the store. So, and that's it. Thank you, Hope.
At this time, I would like to ask our mayor, Megan Sally Wales, to come up. She would like to present something to the Vera family.
This is just a small token of the city's appreciation. Here, come over here so you know what? There we go. I never speak in public. This is just a small token of appreciation from the city. When I found out that this event was happening, I told the city clerk, let's do a certificate, something that shows how much we appreciate the fact that you are continuing such an outstanding legacy, that you continue to be a community partner and a wonderful business that we all appreciate. And, you know, the sadness that we all felt collectively when your parents passed, we still feel it today. And I can see, you know, I've seen people tear up during the presentation. It's not easy to continue that, but you're doing it so well. And just know that the city thanks you.
Thank you.